We're just continuing here with our dimension tools, and we're just playing with the sample REVIT advanced sample project in here, but it really doesn't matter which file you're in. Definitely your template file will predetermine what your dimension styles look like. So in your project template file in your company, or whoever manages your Revit software, mainly you, you should have a project template file, and in there it should have all of your dimension styles set up and sized and all the fonts and all that good stuff, so you don't have to adjust that. It's already set up when you start a new project. So spot elevation, spot coordinate, spot slope. So spot elevation and spot slope I'm going to do together, and I'm going to draw a quick little roof for that. Spot coordinate just gives you an X, Y, Z. So if you say spot coordinate, and you can pick a point somewhere and click and click and click, and it basically gives you a northing, easting. Okay. And then escape. If I pick on here and I say, okay, same thing, edit type, leader arrowhead, yes, I want that 15-degree leader line, and then it does that. Okay, you can look at the other different styles that there is in there. Leader, shoulder leader, or not. So it gives you an X, Y, Z. So again, you just go spot coordinate, pick the intersection of there, there, and there. Pick the corner of, here, click, click. Oops. So you can go anywhere, and it works also in 3D. Okay. If we do go to, and you can annotate to a certain degree in 3D, I wouldn't recommend dimensioning, but let's go in here. Let's turn off all this site stuff. So let's grab all these guys. Let's go right up here and say hide these elements. Okay. And let's pick on the tree, and let's say hide the category. Get rid of those guys. So I can actually go in here and say spot coordinate right there. This is the X, Y, not the Z. Okay, that's a spot elevation. Spot elevation, if you pick on here, that's the Z. So that's the northing, easting, and that's the height. Okay, if I go down to the bottom here and I do a spot elevation, you can see that's at the 0 level. This is at -1 meter, -1 feet. The top of the door is there. So it's very handy. There's those walls that I drew. Okay, to get information out. You'll notice I'm annotating here. If I start to spin the model, this is going to get all distorted. So when you annotate, you really should go down here and say save orientation and lock the view, and then give it a name inside of here. Okay, now you cannot do a shift middle mouse button and spin this. Okay, you can't. So spot elevation, pick on a point, away you go. Okay. Straightforward. Okay. Spot coordinate is the northing and easting, like in a plan view. And you can do this here in a 3D view, or you can do it in a 2D view. A spot slope, we want to have like something that's pretty sloped. So let's create a roof. Let's go to our level 2. Let's, in our little courtyard over here, let's go in and draw a roof from our architecture tab, roof by footprint. All edges are going to be sloped. We'll go with an overhang of 1 meter, and we'll draw some lines. So I'm going to draw a roof. Looks like that. All edges are sloping up. If I do a hover, tab, click, and grab all those edges, 30 degrees, let's make it steeper. Let's make it 45. Click out and finish. Now it looks like it's cut off just because of my view, but if I go to a 3D view, you'll see there's my little building. Oh, what view was I in here? 3D 1. There we go. So there's my roof. Oh, and I'm trying to spin, and I can't. So let's go back to my regular 3D roof. Okay, and I just want to show you that there's our roof. Now we can change the slopes on different edges. Let's go in and say edit the footprint. Just for the heck of it, let's pick on here, and instead of 45, this one is, 42 degrees. Click on there, take this guy, this one is 40 degrees. Click out and then finish, and REVIT's going to make that roof. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll make the roof. So let's go to a site plan, which is a topographic view, and we'll be able to see that roof in there. Okay, let's pick on this roof and just move it over a little bit. So a spot slope does this. You can have a triangle for elevations or a line for plans. So I go spot slope, and then as I move along here, you can see it's giving me the different degrees. And before I place it, I want to go in here. Same thing, I want to have an arrowhead. Hit OK. And offset is good. And then I can click on here. And it's going to put all those slopes. Not sure why it's making them so long. Escape, escape. Oh, it must be my scale. That's why. 1 to 500. I set this back to be 1 to 100. It would have been better. So now if you just grab these guys, okay, and this is a roof. It doesn't have to be a roof. It could have been a floor. It could have been anything that's sloped. Doesn't work with just roofs. And then you can slide this up and down. You can move this guy around. It won't put doesn't put that leader line back, but there's all your slopes. Now the slopes are saying 45 degrees right now because of our project units. If we go to manage and we go up here to our project units and we go to slope and say, no, I don't want to see decimal degrees. I want to see, a rise over 12. Hit OK. That's my project settings. These guys are going to update accordingly. Okay. Right in there. So if I go back in here and I say edit the footprint, now when I pick on here, this slope is something over 12. So let's make it a 912. All I have to do is actually type in 9. It'll do the 12 part. Click out, finish. It's going to create the roof and it's going to make that a 912. So if you look at that in an elevation from, say, the right-hand side over here, let's go to the east elevation. Okay, there's that roof. Okay. Now, if I do spot slope here, I have the option of doing the arrow, or I can actually use a triangle. And to get the right edge, sometimes you have to do tab to get the right edge. So that's a 912. Click and place it. Then I go over to here. Now this one it's not letting me do because it's not perpendicular to my view. Either one of these are because of the shape. I picked kind of a bad. Oh wait, sorry. I'm not done yet. And pick. Let's do that again. Click on here and delete. Spot slope. Hover over here. And then you have to tab to sometimes get the right edge. And then what you do is you pick once to pick the edge, and then you have to pick the side. It's really funny the way it works. Is you have to practice this a few times, and then you have to pick again. And now I'm done. Escape, escape. Once you're done, you can pick on here and do this and pull it off. Okay, it's really tricky. Try it again. Spot slope. Go over to this edge. Again, you're going to go tab, tab. It's a funny one. Tab, tab. There it is. 7.5, 12. No, 10, 12. Click. Now, once you get the edge, you have to pick the side. So you go on this side and you pick. And then you're done. Escape, escape. Then after you're done, inevitably, you always have to take this guy and shrink it. If you want to flip it, you can flip it like this with the flip arrows. So spot slope, spot coordinate, spot elevation. These two guys are available in 3D. I don't think you can do the spot slope in 3D. Oh, sure enough you can. There you go. So we can do those as well. Escape, escape. So these guys, radial, arc, and under dimensions in here, okay, you can see these are the different types. So these are your dimension styles: linear style, angular style, right? So if you want to change your angular dimensions, you go into, into here. So these are the settings. These are your dimension styles. When you pick these guys up here, it's deferring to these types. So if you don't like the way your spot slope is, you pick on here and it calls it up, and then you adjust it inside of here. Notice you always have the alternative units to set to be above or below, and then the unit type over there. So for some of you, a bit of a refresher, and for others, might have been something new. And I can grab this guy and morph him back inside of there. And where did he go? He went to the Annotate tab. So little mini lesson on dimensioning, and we generally talk about dimensioning throughout all of the different videos.